Hello there, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of Sorry If I Spit When I Speak. In this episode, we will analyze and recap the Bengals' win in a hostile environment in Baltimore in their 2014 season opener. So, the Bengals' defense looked great early. They got turnovers, and Vontaze Burfict was just amazing. He was all over the place, getting his hand on the ball and whatnot. Andy Dalton was sharp and he was efficient, and for the day he connected on 25 of 38 passes and he had 0 turnovers. And Hodgie, I mean, even you can notice the change in Andy Dalton, and I know you've been critical of him in the past.
That's right. And you know that it takes a big man to say I was wrong, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because I wasn't wrong, because he's just not very good. Listen, I mean, making the big plays is what matters. He wasn't making the big plays. The team as a whole was disappointing. The Bengals were horrible in the red zone, and they could only get field goals. You're gonna go all the way to the Super Bowl with field goals?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, so anyways, Hodgie, the defense even had a bad break when Vontaze went down with a concussion, apparently, and it was then that the Ravens made their run.
Well, it was bound to happen, right? Look, forget perfect, okay? The secondary looked sloppy. They let Flacco complete a career-high 35 passes, and they almost gave up the game on a ridiculous 80-yard touchdown pass to Steve Smith, and where he duped the entire Bengals secondary. It was just immature playing.
Yes, but, the Bengals were able to...
Oh, hold on, Nama, hold on. Okay, now listen, okay? I know what you're going to say, and it's all the sports highlights, and everything's going to keep talking about the 77-yard touchdown pass with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game, Dalton to AJ Green. I get it. It looked good. It was nice to watch. But listen, this is the reality of the situation, okay? Carl Schenk and I, Labor Day weekend, AJ Green invited us over to a beautiful barbecue at his house. And, I mean, it was really great. We had all kinds of, he had all these tofu stuff for me. It was nice. He's a great guy. And one thing I learned about him, he actually, when he was bringing over some cans of mineral water, he was juggling them. I was like, "You juggle?" He's like, "Yeah, I juggle." This is real. I'm not making this up. The man juggles, okay? And he was telling me that this is like an important part of who he is as a receiver, because there's ball handling and all that, and it shows. It was also another lucky pass on the road against the Ravens for Andy Dalton. How many times is this going to happen? I mean, remember last year he tipped the ball to Green. He tied the game at the end of the fourth quarter. I've been trying to figure out what this is about Dalton and Baltimore and these long bombs. The only theory I have right now is crab cakes.
I don't see the relationship, Hodgie.
Well, crab cakes, they're causing him gas. You want to release the gas. You just want to throw everything off. I don't know, but you can't do this next week with the Falcons. He can't be throwing and hoping. You got to know what you're doing, and you can't be relying on the field goals. And here's why: the Falcon and the Raven, they're both predatory birds. The Bengal tiger is a predatory animal. Now, Native American emblemology, the Falcon is a solar emblem. It represents higher vision. The tiger, willpower, strength, courage. Now, the tiger did well against the Raven because now I'm going to refer to Celtic emblemology, which is it's a bird closely connected with bat.
You're just taking from everywhere.
Yeah, well, I'm putting them together. I'm making it's a big map if you look on the map.
I see.
And so the Raven is all about intelligence. Now, the tiger can beat the Raven, but can it beat the Falcon? We're going to find out next week.
So anyway, the defense finally settled down after, they got over the loss of their anchor, Burfict, and they made some huge plays in the end, sacking Flacco on consecutive plays to effectively end the game. And really, I think the difference we see with Paul Gunter is he has a special relationship with his players, where there is a certain type of communication where they really...
Daddy-o, speaking about communication, I wonder if the boys and girls out there have heard about probably the greatest invention in the past 4 centuries, the Takara Bilingual Dog Translator. Human beings have been communicating and understanding what other human beings have been saying for 200,000 years. Well, the time has come and times have changed. We are now entering into a new era of communication, a new era of ideas, where we will understand what dogs are saying. The Takara Bilingual Dog Translator.
Yeah, so great. And we will see you guys next week.
Don't forget, when you want to beat the Falcons, the emblemology says you can't do field goals.
We'll see you next time, boys and girls.